Today I'm going to be testing out the $10 cake versus the $1,000 cake from Food Wars. An average stack of pancake costs about $10, but this cake is about the size of my wedding cake, which was about $1,000. I'm going to make both contestants' cakes and present it to some judges.
Now I actually have to start this battle off in parts, so this way I can have both contestants' dishes ready at the same time. First, I'm making some red bean paste for Erina's dish by taking some soaked red beans and cooking them on the stove.
Since I don't actually own a pressure cooker, it's going to take about 3 to 4 hours on those beans.
While those are going, I'm going to start straining out some Greek yogurt that Erina uses in her pancake batter.
This just goes in the fridge.
And this just goes right in my mouth.
Now, according to Alice, Momo has quite a few flavors going on with the stencil design that we also have to make.
So I'm gonna make some pseudo blueberry and strawberry jam with just some sugar and some fresh berries.
And we're just gonna cook these down until they're just kind of jammy.
Halfway through the cooking process of these jams, I just mashed them up a bit just to make sure that it helped along with the process.
The blueberry jam took absolutely no time, and like, look at how fast that fruit cooked. This is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and place this into a heat-proof jar. Strawberries, they need help. Come on, they're over here.
So back at the stove, I'm reducing my strawberries down for another 10 or 15 minutes just to make sure they thicken up properly. Otherwise, you can't really use them for cake.
Now these have to cool down completely. You can't put hot fruit in cake batter. Remember when I said 2 days? This is gonna be like 3 days to get this done.
Now back to those red beans. This red bean is ready to strain. After straining all that water, this is what my beans look like. They are absolutely mush. This is what I want to have. And now I'm just gonna plop them right back in that pot.
Erina actually used brown sugar, in particular muscovado sugar, to sweeten her red bean paste, which isn't traditional.
Traditionally, you'd be using granulated sugar to sweeten up this red bean paste.
I'm adding a good amount.
After putting a good amount back into the pot, I'm putting this back on the stove so this way I can cook it down completely and start to thicken up that red bean. After around 15 minutes, this is what my red bean looks like.
See how nice and smooth that red bean is now?
It looks just as smooth as your brain.
I'm really, really excited to try this.
You're not gonna get a different spoon? No? Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Now plop that thing back in the fridge to cool down completely. And now for day 2, I have to start on Momo's cakes. And for that, I have about 40 grams worth of flour, 40 grams worth of powdered sugar, 40 grams worth of egg whites, and about 50 grams worth of melted butter. I'm mixing all this together until I get this really nice runny batter. Now I have to separate these into 6 different containers because we're going to have 6 different colors for Momo's cakes.
So one of these is going to be vanilla. Just a splash in there. Give this a mix. Our first one, done.
Now I have to do the same thing with some black sesame seed, some matcha powder, some of that blueberry jam we made, followed by that strawberry one as well, making sure that all of these flavors are fully incorporated.
The strawberry, I am gonna add just a little bit of color to it because it looks really, really pale. You see that?
So I'm just using some icing food coloring to brighten up that red just a little bit and added so much more color.
Last one is cocoa.
This one's easy. It's just cocoa powder.
Oh, come on.
Problem with cocoa powder is it thickens it.
You know, we'll just add a little bit of milk.
And since I didn't have milk, I'm just using half and half. It's the same, right? Same thing.
As long as I can pipe this, I think we'll be okay. This is gonna work. I keep telling myself.
I'm glad you believe in yourself with all these different flavors.
I have a feeling my artistic skills here are going to severely hamper how this is going to look.
Don't believe in you. Believe in me that believes in you. Now get all of these bags filled with all of those different colors and flavors. These bags need to be tight.
And now with all of these bagged up and ready to pipe, we just have to get our sheet trays ready because we gotta get this in the oven.
And we gotta get a lot of them in the oven. So let's get started.
Never done this before, so we're gonna attempt to draw cats. Oh, okay. That comes out nice.
That's what she said. And my jokes are just about as bad as my piping skills here.
Every cake artist in the comments is screaming right now. Give me a little bit of credit.
I'm trying to use the chocolate cake batter to actually outline all of my cats.
Okay, this is what I have. This is very professional. Look at that cat. That's Lucian. Should also draw Gandalf.
You know, I really am giving it my all here with this beautiful fish, this amazing ramen bowl, and this entire scene of whatever this is.
You guys ever see those pancake artists who like draw LeBron James out of pancakes or whatever it is? This is what this feels like, but on a way lesser cool scale.
After making this look as good as I possibly could, I baked it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 3 minutes.
After 3 minutes, this is what we have. Look at those results. Now, they're not moving around too much. This is exactly what we want. And I hope it works. We're gonna bang out the other ones right now.
I actually have to make 2 more of these sheet trays right now because I can only do 3 sheet trays at a time because that's all the amount of sheet trays that I own.
Now with all 3 of my beautiful pieces of art ready to go, we have to make the first batch of cake. I'm really proud of this one in particular with the cat chasing the fish. Look at this, right? It's amazing.
Now to make the first part of the batter.
Ah, I'm losing my mind. Where is everything?
After I channel my inner moist critical, I dump in 12 egg yolks into a bowl, followed by 100 grams worth of brown sugar, and then mix it until it is a beautiful pale color.
Don't skip this part.
Seriously, don't skip that part. It's really important. Now add in 120 milliliters worth of oil and water, and then I start sprinkling in 180 grams worth of flour. I want to make sure that this goes in parts just so it incorporates itself really well, and then I just decided to dump the rest in.
Now before it's fully mixed, there's two more things we have to add. A heavy pinch of salt, the obligatory splash of vanilla.
Always put salt and vanilla in your baked goods.
This is ready to go.
The next part of this cake is actually making a ton of meringue. Remember those 12 egg yolks we used earlier? Here are the 12 egg whites that we're now going to use for the meringue. I'm setting my egg whites to a really high speed, and then I'm starting to sprinkle in 180 grams worth of granulated sugar to fully form my meringue.
Now once I have this looking like an absolute cloud that you would want to lay on top of, I mean, look at, do you not want to put your head right on this?
Please don't put your head on that. Instead, we're going to take about a third of that meringue and add it to our original batter we had just made to help loosen up that batter. This step is really important before we add in the rest of our meringue.
This is literally the same way I'm going to be doing the pancakes for Erina.
Which I find very interesting that they decided to have two different souffles in one battle.
That is beautiful. Now, cake time. I'm really excited for this. Now the question is how much do I use? I didn't think this part through very well. Like many things on this channel, we're gonna eyeball it.
You know, I wouldn't recommend eyeballing baked goods. It usually doesn't turn out well, so here I am hoping for the best that this does turn out well.
Give it a few. For air bubble reasons, into the oven these go for about 10 to 12 minutes, not too long.
And after 10 to 12 minutes, all of my cakes are finally done. But this is just the first batch. We actually have to make an entirely new second batch. And for this second batch, I'm actually going to add in some red food coloring, so this way when we bake them, they're actually going to be really nice and pink.
This one is ready to go.
So once that first part was ready to go, I started adding in my second batch of meringue that I had made on the side. I'm doing the same thing here where I'm just folding in some of the meringue until it's completely incorporated and then gently layering it on top of my new stencils. If I'm too aggressive here, those stencils could move and ruin the picture underneath.
I finally have, after around 3.5 hours, all of my cake ready. We have 3 of these pinkish red ones. We also have 3 of these vanilla looking cakes. This is day 2. Day 3, we still have a lot to do, so that way we can finish it up and bring it to the judges. Day 3, it is time to finish off these cakes, and for that, I need to make soy sauce whipped cream.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. I have to make soy sauce whipped cream for the inside of Momo's cakes, and even the thought of that puts this look on my face.
After a couple of minutes, this comes up to kind of like a soft-ish peak. This is when I'm gonna add all of my powdered sugar.
And this is just 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar and a sprinkle of cream of tartar.
I was very close to making butter. It's really thick. Oh, I forgot the soy sauce. It was literally right here. Let's see what this tastes like. I'm gonna do like a tablespoon worth. That feels so wrong. It could be really good. Let's see what this is about. It's actually kind of good. Didn't expect that. Now here is the second moment of truth. We have our designs and I have to try to carefully peel this back to not ruin any of it. You can already see a little bit. Oh my God, my ramen bowl, it's still there. I'm hoping that this stays. Look at that, we freaking did it.
I have to admit, I'm really happy with how this is coming out, but I have to take off this plastic so this way I can start putting all of that soy sauce whipped cream onto this cake. I'm trying to really make it an even as layer as possible.
I have to gently roll this. This is where it gets scary, just because I don't want those pictures to break. Let's go, dude. Yes. Come on. That is so satisfying to me. Oh, baby. You guys want to see what it looks like? Come on. Look at how fun that is. Look at this Yule log.
Now, because I don't want my cake to turn into an actual log and dry out, I need to wrap these individually with plastic and then place them back onto my sheet tray. I need to do this with each of my sheet cakes, making sure that they are fully covered in frosting and then rolled very tightly to create all of my Yule logs. This is what these monsters look like.
Now with Momo's cakes rolled and resting in the fridge, I have to work on Erina's portion of this battle. And not gonna lie, I forgot how to make these, so I'm using my very own cookbooks to remake these. Yes, her recipe is in my cookbooks. I only have a limited supply of these cookbooks left because, unfortunately, these are the reject bins, with some of them with a little bit of damage on them. They're still perfectly good, so I am discounting them from the original Kickstarter price. So if you want to pick up both of my copies, they're 25 bucks for both of them. Head to the link down below, pick up your very own set of Annie Bites cookbooks, and make a bunch of your favorite anime food.
I'm actually starting with Erina's garnish, which is the sesame tuile. This is 30 grams worth of flour, 130 grams worth of brown sugar, 35 grams worth of granulated sugar, 45 grams worth of melted butter, 15 grams worth of sesame seed, and 2 grams worth of salt. I mix this all together just to make sure it's fully combined, and don't worry if it's nice and crumbly because this will melt together.
I'm gonna keep some of this on reserve just in case I mess these up. In the oven, 7 minutes at 350 degrees.
While those are baking, I'm gonna make the pancake batter, which is 40 grams worth of flour, 2 egg yolks, 20 grams worth of milk, 2 grams worth of vanilla extract, and 10 grams worth of oil.
And then remember that Greek yogurt that we started straining? This is now what it looks like. Look at that. It's absolutely thickened.
I'm taking 30 grams worth of that yogurt, placing it into my batter and making sure it's fully mixed and fully combined.
That's it, just a little bit.
And while I was mixing that, the tuiles actually were ready out of the oven, and I have to cut these immediately because if I don't cut these now into the shapes I need, they're gonna solidify. But before I finish Erina's cake, I have to finish this.
Because Yule logs are traditionally not served right side up because they would just fall over. It's sponge cake. I have to cut these to stack them, and I'm terrified.
The reason why I'm terrified is because we put in so much time up until this point to make sure that this works, so I do have to cut these so this way I can stack them into the castle shape that I want.
Oh, this pink one is beautiful though. Look at that.
It is beautiful. Well done.
I have to fill the middle. Maybe we'll fill the middle with scraps. There's an idea.
Yes, there is an idea, but that idea, that's not the best idea.
No. Okay, this is what it is so far. How does that look? Hey, that's not bad. I like this so far, but I absolutely cannot travel with this. Okay, luckily, I have this cake box. We're gonna assemble it at the bakery.
So now I have to disassemble this cake that I already assembled, and I'm hoping that I can put it back together.
And in hindsight, I don't think I need the scraps. We have an extra cake in there still.
But I'm still going to save all these scraps because I might just want to snack.
Well, now that I have an idea of how I want to plate up Momo's, let's finish Erina's and get to the bakery.
Now that I know what I'm doing for Momo's cake, I have to finish Erina's. I just have to make the meringue for her portion of the pancakes. This is just 3 egg whites followed by about 40 grams worth of granulated sugar. I whipped this until it had nice stiff peaks. This is really important for getting nice souffle pancakes. I stirred in about 1/3 of that just to loosen up the batter so this way it's easier to work with, and then I folded in the rest of my egg whites to make sure it became nice and fluffy. I'm trying to be super careful so I don't deflate any of my egg whites here.
Now my batter is ready to go. Let's go over there and start making pancakes. Now we're over here by this, there's fire by my face, but I have to use these 2 molds to make these pancakes. So instead of free-forming them, we're gonna be using these.
The kicker is to make sure everything is nice and lubed up, so this way nothing sticks to the molds or the bottom of that pancake pan. I'm adding in enough batter to come up to about 2/3 of the way of those molds, and then I have to cover this with the only cover that I have, which is this stainless steel bowl, but you gotta do what you gotta do so that way they can steam properly.
This is unfortunate. I burnt the pancakes because I had the pan too hot. Let's see what these look like. That's burnt. Okay, we have to make these real quick again.
So after eating some of my mistakes, I absolutely had to hit the gas to make sure I could make a second batch of pancakes in time to bring these over to the bakery. I didn't have a lot of time to do this, and I was able to do it in about 10 minutes.
Yo, these better work because I don't have a second option. Okay guys, the second batch looks pretty solid. I mean, that looks pretty gorgeous to me.
And I'm coming up on the time that I need these to be done, so I'm removing them from my pan and immediately putting them into a container to take with me.
See that, and they'll stay warm. So we're gonna lock and load this with not this piece of foil because it's too small. We're gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys at the bakery. You may be wondering why I'm at a bakery setting this up. I have no one to feed at home besides Gandalf and Lucian, and they don't need cake. I also forgot a plate. It's gonna be one of those days.
So instead, I'm plating it up on the same pan that I brought the pancakes in. I'm layering the pancakes with just a bit of that red bean paste, followed by a room temperature piece of butter and my tuile.
I don't know if it's gonna hold up. I totally wasn't recording any of me stacking it, so that sucks, but I got it stacked. Okay, now I have to get Chessa, she's the head baker here. Oh, I almost forgot. I got something fun too.
Now, admittedly, Momo had done a bunch of sugar work, but I couldn't do any sugar work, so I'm using these vines.
Okay, I have to get Chessa here before this falls over.
Now we have Momo's castle cake in all of its castle cake glory versus Erina's souffle pancake with red bean paste in the middle.
So they usually do food battles, and what this one was the brown sugar battle. So there's quite a bit of brown sugar in each of these.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a castle cake, but it looks like it's gonna fall over because it's Yule log, right? And there's no support. And then I have souffle pancakes. So I would recommend doing the souffle pancakes first because they might still be warm because I literally just brought them over, and then going into that.
Okay.
In Food Wars, they eat this first and then go to this. So
okay.
Do you want to do this one?
I don't care. What would you like me to do?
Go for it. Here.
Okay.
Take a, oh my God. Take a big old bite and then just let me know what you think.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what am I critiquing?
So just
Are you wanting me to taste something specific, or just tell you what I think?
Right. So in the spirit of the brown sugar battle, which one do you think has the better overall flavor?
Oh. Okay.
Right. So that's all it is.
Of brown sugar.
Either that or just the overall dish.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And I forgot to say, this is Chessa. I come to her bakery literally like 4 times a week. But yes, Feel free to
Oh, I'm
eat as-
so excited.
as-
Okay.
Yes, and they are. There is a secret ingredient. You're not allergic to anything, right?
Nope.
Okay. There's a secret ingredient in there. I want to see if you can taste it, and I think you'll
Ooh.
be intrigued.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm very
excited.
intrigued
Okay.
already. Okay.
And if it all falls over, I'll pick it up later.
It's okay.
It's so much cake.
I love it. I love cake. I'm very excited.
So this is the Yule log castle. Do you pick up any like fun ingredient in there?
Might need another bite.
Go for it. Seriously, I'm gonna give you all of it when I'm done.
I don't taste a ton of brown sugar in it.
Okay.
In this one.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of what it tastes like. It almost tastes like cherries.
Cherries.
A little?
Interesting. Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Trevor, do you want in on some cake?
This is my husband.
This is Trevor, one of our other cake fans.
Here, I'll
So
share
we're
my
doing a
fork.
taste test. This is the castle cake
Okay.
versus the souffle pancakes. It's very overwhelming. I know.
But it's really good. But I almost want to.
Beautiful.
It's so gonna fall over. Oh my god, I see it just like getting smushed.
I mean, just like our wedding.
That actually happened at our wedding.
Oh no.
And it was wonderful. And it was all
hap-
caught.
hap-
It's happening.
It's happening. Here, we're gonna take the top off.
But I'm trying to pick up that flavor.
So I will say it's
Pistachio?
No, it's right. It's a salty flavor,
Okay.
but it's actually soy sauce in the whipped cream. And it almost, when you taste it on its,
Very
own,
subtle.
it's very subtle, but it's almost like a salted caramel flavor.
Yeah. I now that you mention, I can kind of taste it in the back of my throat, like just very, very subtle.
Very subtle.
Very
So then this is the challenger's dish,
Okay.
and there is another fun ingredient in the middle.
Okay.
But we'll do a little
I'm
bit.
very excited.
Do a little bit of the souffle, or I'm sorry, syrup on the souffle. I like this one a lot.
Definitely more brown sugar
In this one?
through and through. Even in this guy, almost like a tuile.
Yeah,
Almost,
yeah.
yeah.
Try to do a brown sesame tuile,
try
or brown
the-
sugar
try
sesame.
the middle.
Can you guess what the middle is? You've probably had that.
Dates.
Red bean paste.
I do love red bean paste.
Yes.
That's really good.
Okay.
It definitely tastes like a pancake.
Okay, so this is gonna be number 2 and this is gonna be number 1.
Okay.
All I want you to do is hold up a 1 or a 2 for your winner. Number 2, got it, okay.
Yes.
So this is,
I love the
This
taste
is the winner.
of this.
which is interesting because in Food Wars, this was the winner. That's it. You guys heard it here first. Bye.
Delicious.